There is no easy way to pinpoint the world's oldest city, but places like Jericho, with evidence of occupation dating back 11,000 years, often top the list. After millennia of human development, you'd think we'd have mastered the art of city living. But for all our advances, a lot of people remain trapped in cycles of poverty, conflict, hunger, and decay. Today, we're looking at the darker side of human existence. Here are the 5 wickedest places on Earth you can't live on. 5. Beira, Mozambique. Beira has been battered by Mother Nature and left stumbling to recover. Cyclones like Idai in 2019 tore through the region, displacing thousands and wiping out essential infrastructure. It's been years and the scars still remain, with many residents still stuck in temporary shelters. To this day, the city's drainage systems are overwhelmed and rebuilding has dragged on forever. To make matters worse, Beira is prone to severe flooding, making it feel like the city is constantly fighting a losing battle against the elements. Add to that widespread poverty and limited access to basic services, and it's no wonder life here feels like an endless fight for survival. 4. Dharavi, India. Today, by the most conservative estimates, about 900 million people live in slums all over the world. However, experts believe that number could actually be as high as 1.6 billion, which means a quarter of the world's urban population lives without access to proper housing, sanitation, or basic infrastructure. Dharavi in Mumbai is one of the biggest. Over 1 million people are packed into just 2.39 square kilometers, about 590 acres. Sanitation is dire with open sewers, limited clean water, and no proper waste management. Disease outbreaks are a constant threat. And while some small industries operate here, they do little to offset the overwhelming poverty and horrendous living conditions. 3. Rocinha, Brazil. Rocinha, Rio de Janeiro's largest favela, is home to an estimated 150,000 to 300,000 residents who all live in an area of just 0.8 square miles. Its stacked, 10-story houses and narrow streets were famously featured in Fast 5, but life here is far from cinematic. Open sewers run between homes, causing frequent disease outbreaks, and only 2 health centers serve the entire population. The criminal underworld dominates, fueling violent conflicts with the police that claim hundreds of lives every year. While Rocinha has some infrastructure, like concrete housing and running water, the constant threat of poverty, violence, and neglect gives it a solid spot on today's list. 2. Jakarta, Indonesia. Most of us know that Venice is slowly sinking, but some cities are facing an even more urgent crisis. Jakarta, a sprawling megacity of over 10 million people, is sinking at a pace that's almost unimaginable. North Jakarta has dropped over 8 feet in the past decade, and some areas are sinking 11 inches every year. Nearly half the city is already below sea level, with severe flooding now a constant threat. The culprit is the over-extraction of groundwater, as the city's aging infrastructure fails to meet demand. With pollution choking waterways and infrastructure crumbling, Jakarta's future is so uncertain that Indonesia is relocating its capital entirely. 1. Makoko, Nigeria. Makoko, often called the Venice of Africa, is a floating slum on Lagos Lagoon, but the comparison to Venice stops at the water. No official census has ever been done, perhaps because the government would rather pretend these people don't exist. But locals estimate that more than 250,000 people live here, crammed into a mix of stilt houses on the lagoon and makeshift homes on land. Without access to clean water, residents battle constant outbreaks of waterborne diseases like gastrointestinal infections and bacterial illnesses, and every day is a struggle to meet even the most basic sanitation needs. That's a wrap. Follow us for more facts.